Hello everyone and welcome to episode 3 of the Little Dynamite Knits podcast. Today is Monday, June 17th, and it's been almost exactly a month since I recorded my last episode. That was on May 18th. In that time, I have wanted to record several times, but I have been sick. It started with a Memorial Day weekend trip where we traveled with a group of our friends and their kids, and I came home with strep throat. And I also think I had been dealing with a sinus infection for quite some time at that point. So between the strep throat and the sinus infection, and then even more travel because I had to go to Atlanta for a conference for work, and then also had to travel for our prom and graduation at the end of our school year. So I ended up with bronchitis. And the last week was pretty rough. Both Brent and I were sick at the same time, which usually does not happen. We usually are kind of one after the other and able to take care of each other and take care of the house. And this time we were both down for the count. I'm still a little congested. The cough is lingering, but nothing compared to what last week was like. So that's good. Still don't have my full energy back, but we're getting there. And I really wanted to come on and record an episode. So hopefully this goes okay. Hopefully I don't have to go run for the inhaler, and we'll get through this without any coughing fits or anything like that. Two of our cats right now are being a little extra. I don't know if you can hear Gracie, but she is wailing in the other room for attention, and I have given her attention all day. I have tried to get her to come in here and sit with me. I'm not sure. There she is. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure what she's got to say, but there she is. Do you want to be the thumbnail for this episode? Look up there. You're so pretty. Oh, I think we got it. All right. Can you go take a nap? Other people have children who maybe interrupt things. We have one of the neediest cats you'll ever meet in your life. All right. So, sick, work travel. What else is going on? Summer. I spent the first 18 years of my career as a teacher and had summers off. This is my second summer ever. Nope, that's a lie. Third summer now. Going into my third summer as someone who works in the summer. It's not so bad though, because I work from home. I've strategically scheduled some PTO days during the month of June to give myself some 4-day work weeks. We're off the first full week of July. So it's not so bad. And this also means because I'm a 12-month employee now, I'm able to take off other parts of the calendar year that I could not take off for, 18 years. For 18 years, I planned all of my travel around the school year calendar. Not because I had children in school, but because of being a teacher. There were times in the year when you weren't allowed to take off. There were times of the year when it just didn't make sense to take off. And so now I'm really enjoying being able to spread out my days and travel during different times of the year from what I used to be able to do. All right. And anything else? I started watching Bridgerton. I'll pause for... I'm sure there's cheers happening. Some of you may be rolling your eyes. My friend Allie came over at the end of last week. We had a great, just sat and knit and talked for a few hours. And she told me all about her newfound love. I don't know how new it is, but of Bridgerton. And Allie is someone whose opinion I trust quite a bit. We have a good amount of shared interests. Allie is a voracious reader, reads, always reading. I am not. I don't read. but Allie was telling me about the books and about the series. So I decided to jump into the series knowing not much about it. Once I told her that I was going to give it a go, she kind of stopped talking. She said, all right, I'm not going to say anything else. I don't want to spoil anything for you. So I have watched the first 3 episodes of season 1 at this point. So we'll see how it goes. All right. Plans for this episode. We are going to talk about, and I'm going to show you, I have my Frogget basket here with everything I have knit so far in 2024. We're going to go in order. I have my notes just off screen here to keep me as organized as possible. And so we're going to do everything I've knit so far. Then I'll share my works in progress that I have currently so that I can get into more of a regular format of updating on what I'm working on, sharing finished objects moving forward, and also talk about future knitting plans for the rest of the year. All right, so the first thing I finished this year was the Habitation Throw by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. So there's no way I'm going to get this all on the screen, but I'll do my best to share. Oh, it's like the perfect size for this chair. So you may notice some ends flailing about, but not many of them because I did magic knot joins for this. Like just went for it, trusted it, and used up every bit of yarn that I could of this advent, which I'll talk about in a minute. So my only ends that I have to weave in are at the very beginning. And then a couple color changes, like 2 color changes before I decided to start doing the magic knot, and then the very end. So I still have to weave in the ends. I did finish this on January 29th. I started it on December 27th of last year of 2023. Gracie! Oh my goodness. I started it on December 27th. I finished it on January 29th. So about a month of knitting to get the whole blanket done. And I still haven't blocked it or woven in ends. I'll get to it. The yarn is Knotty Pines 2022 Advent on her Bighorn sock base. And I did not do the colors exactly in the order that the Advent goes in. I do have on my project page on Ravelry, I have the order that I did the colors in. I'll put a link for that below, so if you're interested in the order, but I'm pretty happy overall with the order that I went in. I do wish that I had started with this darkest color, and then I would have had the 2 darkest colors in opposite corners, but that's not a big deal. I love this blanket. I enjoyed knitting it so much. I love the colors, and this is going to be my my knitting room chair blanket. So if you are on the fence about this pattern, the Habitation Throw, I recommend it immensely. I did a US 5 3.75 millimeter needle for this, which is down 1 size. It calls for a 6 or a 4 millimeter. I am a loose knitter, so I went down 1 size, and I'm pretty happy with the fabric that I got. When I do block this, I'm not going to stretch it a ton. I don't even know that I need to block it. Maybe I'll just steam it, and we'll call it a day. All right, so that's the Habitation Throw. No yarn left because, again, I did magic knot and I used it all. Next project is an Oslo hat mohair edition. This is the 3rd Oslo hat specifically mohair edition, that I have knit. Last year I made one for myself, and then I made one for Brent, and I love the pattern. I love making it. I love how it fits. I love how it looks. So I made another one for myself. And maybe, should I just leave that on for the rest of the podcast? So this yarn is woolberry fiber, her berry tweed fingering base in cabled sweater, and then her berry Surrey base in frost. And these were collective colorways, I believe. And so I held those together to get this. I really like it. I think it's fun. I didn't get a ton of time to wear it because, let's see, I started it on February 13th. I finished it on February 19th, so it was a very quick knit. But we didn't have a super, super, super cold winter, so I wore it a few times, and then it got tucked away for next winter if, you know, we ever have cold winters again. I'm just going to keep knitting hats and hoping for it, but I don't know. It's going to be like 96 degrees here this week. What else? I used US 3 or 3.25 millimeter. That is actually up one size from the pattern. The pattern recommends a US 2.5. I have a big old head, and I like a little bit of room, especially when I'm folding the brim and getting that triple thickness. I like the fabric that I get with the 3. Oh boy, I'm gonna regret that. All right. So if you're not familiar with the Oslo pattern, it is a paid for pattern. I think almost everything I'm showing today is a paid for pattern. But double brim, then you reverse and you go the other way, and so the outside becomes the inside, and you get this garter band, and but that's all I'll say about that. I love the pattern. You probably know it. Everyone knows it. There's thousands of projects. It's a popular one for a reason, and it just feels so good on. I think that's it. All right, cool. That is by Petite Knit. I think I said that, but just in case. All right. Next. In 2022, I went to Youngfolk. It was my first time at Youngfolk, and it was the year that Youngfolk was like really good. And I picked up from So Happy Jane. Well, I got 2 skeins of her Delightful DK on her special show colorway, her Youngfolk colorway, which was called Fall Frolic. I got home, found then what I thought was the perfect pattern for it, but realized I needed another skein. And so I sent her a message, and she happened to have one that she had brought home from the show. So I was able to buy that from her and get the 3 skeins I needed to make the, oh, I don't know which way is this supposed to go. I'm not sure. I'm not good with triangle shawls. This is the Essential Variegated Shawl by Knit Sisu. Knit SISU. Paid for pattern. Looks more complicated than it is. Very repetitive, very easy to memorize, good couch knitting. The Delightful DK base. I don't have any of my yarn bands here to talk about fiber content. I have project pages on Ravelry for every single thing I'm showing today, so I'll just link my Ravelry below like I usually do, and you can go find out more if you would like. So again, this has been blocked, but I have not woven in the ends yet. I always block before I weave in my ends. That way, I know everything has relaxed, and I know what size I'm working with, and that I just think I get a better result when I weave in my ends after blocking. I'm having a really hard time remembering, like I know what side is the front and the back, but I'm having a really hard time remembering where I started the damn thing and like, and where, oh wait, hold on. Okay, I found my cast on edge, so I think that's, I have no idea. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna go like that. And we're gonna call that. This is not a shape that I usually wear. So we'll see how it goes with styling this. I think I'm definitely gonna need to break out a shawl cuff because these ends are a little shorter up here, but really enjoyable to make. I love the colors and how this pattern showed them off. So I would recommend it. I used a US 7 4.5 millimeter. That is down one size from what the pattern calls for. And I used 3 full skeins. I believe I may have, I think this is a pattern where you just knit until it's the size you want, because you're just repeating sections. So I just knit till I got to a point where I needed to save yarn for the bind off, and so I had very little yarn left. I don't even think I have scraps left. I think it was so little that I got rid of it. All right, next, one of my favorite patterns. Forgive the appearance of these because I have been wearing them because it is cold on the first floor of our house. We live in a 3-story house with only one thermostat on the second floor, so cold on the first floor, a little bit warmer on the third floor. So I do wear these all year round. These are the Cabin Slipper Socks by Sarah Opie. This pattern is like, it just lives in my heart because it is the first pattern I ever test knit. I was just a baby, not even a test knitter, just not even sure. I don't know what I was thinking when I signed up to test knit this. I had never done anything beyond a very basic sock on DPNs for my husband, and was not feeling super secure in my sock knitting skills. But I saw this pattern, I thought it was so cool, and I decided to use it as motivation. So the first time I knit the pattern, I used Brooklyn Tweed's Arbor base. The pattern calls for Explorer Knits and Fibers Rockies DK, which is what I use for this pair. After I test knit that first pair, I knew I always wanted to go back and knit another pair with the yarn that it called for. And I had I had 2, so I actually ordered this yarn for this project like 2 years ago. This is what I have left. I need to wind these up and make this into one. This is the colorway Skellig from the Ireland collection, the first time she released the Ireland collection. So I've had this yarn for a long time, and I finally made these. I did a US 3.25 millimeter, which is the needle it calls for in the pattern. They are a little big, and the previous pair I made are also a little big, which is not the fault of the pattern. I'm a loose knitter, and especially my socks, my feet tend to stretch them out quite a bit after I wear them, after I have worn them for some time, and I wear these a lot. So I may stick them in the dryer to shrink them up just a little bit, but they're so cozy and comfy. And if you're looking for a good pair of slipper socks, these are plain. If your feet get cold, or you want some different socks to wear on the plane, don't be that jerk who's just like with your bare feet out. If you don't want to wear your actual shoes on the plane, at least put some socks or slippers on, like for everybody. This is a good pattern. Okay. All right, we're doing this. The next 3 projects are all the same pattern. My dear friends, Tracy and Sarah, have triplet daughters who, have triplet daughters who turned 7 in March. And I brought over a ton of my sock yarn. So right there and there, those are all my sock sets. So I basically cleared out those 2 shelves, put them in a bag, took them over to their house, and I let the girls each pick out a sock set. And then I had them tell me how tall they wanted their socks, if they wanted stripes, and knit them each a pair of Andrea Mowry's everyday socks. So I'm going to start with, as far as timeline for making these, I think I cast on the first pair on March 6th and ultimately finished the 3rd pair on May 23rd. I did not plan well, and I found myself with 5 different sock whips all at once. And so I got temporarily burnt out on knitting socks. So these took a little bit longer than they probably usually would have, but they're done, and they've been washed, they've been blocked, and they are ready for the girls. So first up is Cora's socks. Come on, how cute are our little socks? Cora picked out a Woolberry Fiber Co. sock set on her 80/20 sock merino nylon base. This is the colorway Puffed Sleeves from the Anne of Green Gables Mystery Club. So I've had this for quite some time. So that was what Cora picked out, and she wanted shorty, well, not shorty, but like pretty short socks. And then Hadley chose a sock set from Long Dog Yarns Disney Villains collection. This is the Ursula sock set. And so Hattie wanted hers to be a little bit longer up her leg. So those are Hattie's. And then Reese also chose a Long Dog Yarn sock set, but she chose the She Sells Seashells, which is from Brandy's 2022 summer. That's her summer sock set from 2022. Reese wanted long socks and she wanted stripes. So these were the ones that took the longest, but I'm really happy with how they turned out. I know they look tiny, but if you've ever knit this pattern, the DRK Everyday Socks, they stretch quite a bit. So hopefully they will grow with the girls. At least, you know, if they get like a full year or a full fall winter season out of them, I will be happy. So I did knit them, I think the size above their age range. And I used, what did I use? A US 1, 2.25 millimeter, which is what is called for in the pattern. It's what I use, the size I use for pretty much every fingering weight sock that I make, except for Brent's, which I will get to in a moment. All right, so I said I had 5 sock whips at one time. That's counting the 3 pairs of socks for the girls and my cabin slipper socks and another pair of socks for Brent. So this is basically I have a kind of like a go-to formula that I use now for Brent socks when using Patton's Croy sock yarn. I love Patton's Croy sock yarn because, well, for a few reasons. 1, it's cheap. 2, it has fun colors that he likes. 3, it's pretty hardy. It's pretty durable. It is 100% wool. For me, it feels a little itchy, but he loves it. And the more we wash them, the softer they get. So this colorway is blue striped rag. And when I make his socks, I use a US 2 or a 2.75 millimeter. And I do Judy's Magic Cast On, and then I do a round toe, which I took from some of Sarah Opie's sock patterns. And then I do a 3x1 rib on the top of the foot, stockinette on the bottom of the foot. I do 60 foot rows, and then I do a backwards heel flap and gusset. I do a gusset and heel flap, which I took from Carly Perrins of Northwoods Knit Co., her toe-up sock patterns. Then I go to 3x1 ribbing all the way around the leg, 45 leg rounds, and then bind off. I'm already in ribbing, so I just bind off in the 3x1 rib. I do the surprisingly stretchy bind off, and then repeat for sock 2. That is the formula I use for his socks. They fit him wonderfully. He loves them. He has 4 pairs of them now, and he will get more because I have more Pattons Crow yarn. So sock number 5 for the year. Okay. And then the only other finished object I have for 2024, nope, well, sort of, is Fred the Dinosaur, the Wooble crochet kit, which I showed in my last episode. It's over there on my desk. I'm not going to go get it, but I finished that in one day. I finished that on May 5th, and so that is also a finished object. And then just off the needles, this is in my Botanical Yarn Wool and Folk bag from 2022. I just bound off 2 days ago The Shift Cow by Andrea Mowry. So I cast this on May 27th, bound off 2 days ago. It was so much fun to work on. Well, mostly. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Let me just find the right way to hold this up. Okay. Ta-da! So it's just off the needles. It has not been blocked. Ends have not been, well, ends have been halfway woven in. I'll finish after blocking. And obviously it has not been seamed. But the colorways are... where do I have it? So I used a solid blue called Pippin, and this orangish color called Gimli. Those are both from Long Dog Yarns One Collection to Rule Them All on her Merino Sport Base. And then at the same time that she released that full collection, Lauren of Treehouse Knits did like a mini collection to go with it. And this is the variegated colorway she had called The Stories That Really Matter. I should have taken these out of these yarn socks because look at that. Look at those colors. So good. I will say that the solid blue color and then the variegated colorway, they are pretty similar, pretty low contrast. So you don't see a ton of contrast, but you do get it and you get a lot of texture. So I'm actually really happy with it. What else? This is sport weight yarn. Both of their sport weight bases are the same exact base. So it was really easy to put them together. This was a color combination that I think Brandy shared in her stories when she was releasing the collection. And when I saw it, I knew it had to be a shift. I knew I wanted a shift. I was having a really hard time picking colors because the 3 skeins of Spin Cycle all together, it was a lot, and I was having a hard time like picturing what it would look like. But when I saw these colors together, I knew that that's the direction I wanted to go in. So I'm going to block this, and then I will seam it up. So basically, you know, it looks like, I think it looks like home plate in a baseball game. You block it to certain measurements, and then you seam it here, and it becomes like this asymmetrical, goes around and kind of hangs down. hopefully I'll get some more stretch out of it because, you know, my neck is a little chunky, but I'm excited to wear this. So next episode, hopefully it'll be completely finished and you can see what it looks like on. All right. I haven't measured how much yarn I had left from those, but I have a decent amount of each of those 3 colors left. So I don't know, I can make something fun with those. I have yarn sitting here because I was going to share how much I had left from all these other projects. This is from, you know, the triplet socks. This is a lot of leftover yarn. Obviously, they're small socks. So I don't know what I'm going to do with these. I may even destash them because they're really fun. They're just like, not really my colors, but they were fantastic for the girls. Maybe I'll hold on to them and you know, in a few years when they're bigger, I'll make them a new set of socks. And this is what I have left over from Brent's patent socks. I buy 2 skeins of yarn of patent spray for his socks, and I have that much left over. I actually used this for the heels. This is just a good skein, like a gray marl color, so that if I don't want to worry about breaking up the stripe pattern or do an afterthought heel or anything like that, I have this on standby for doing heels for his socks. Okay, so that is all of my finished objects so far for 2024. Let's talk about 2 whips. Well, actually 3. Brent, when I ordered my Fred the Dinosaur Wooble kit, we also got Brent one. We got him Jack the Monkey. And it's been a little bit of a frustrating experience for Brent. So officially yesterday, I took over for him. So this is Jack's body, and then this is going to be his face with his eyes. And I have to do his arms, his tail, and his ears. So I'm working on that. And then in my new Tanny Casey bag, I believe this is her extra large zipper bag, I have what's become my long-term project for this year, and that is an anthology throw by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade, who also did the habitation throw. Really enjoyed that pattern. Had a ton of fingering weight scraps just sitting around and decided to throw them all in a bag. So here's what I'm working with. Can we see that? There we go. So I threw them all in a bag, and I'm sort of choosing them as I go. I'm not doing this like full-on scrappy where I just kind of reach in and grab one and that's the one I go with. I am intentionally picking each color because that's just me. And here's what I have so far. So if you're not oh my gosh, I love this so much. If you're not familiar with this pattern, you start in the center and work your way out in a circle. This is a circle blanket. So the yarns that I have used so far are, actually I have them, I'll show you what I have left from doing each one. I'm not changing color exactly where the pattern says to because I want to use more of the scraps that I have. I want it to be a very big blanket, so I'm kind of just going along. When I get to the end of the pattern, I'll figure out how to add more, I guess. But so far I have used, this is from Pigment and Ply. This was my leftover from the December sock set from La Mercerie. that's in the center. And then I believe this is the colorway Grove from Woolberry Fiber Co. in Berry Natural. This is Acadia National Park from Explorer Knits and Fibers, which I originally paired with Sand Dollar from Woolberry Fiber Co. for a pair of bear paw socks. So those are both in the blanket. This color is, this was the March sock set from La Mercerie from Paisley Knits. And then this orange color is Anne Shirley, which was the first sock set from the Woolberry Anne of Green Gables Mystery Club. So I'm gonna hold it up again. And the color that I'm doing right now is actually the leftover Woolberry, the puff sleeves from the Anne of Green Gables Mystery Club. This is the leftover yarn from Cora's socks. So that's going in the blanket already. So you start from the center and you work your way out. So you can see the Pigment and Ply, the Woolberry Grove, Acadia National Park from Explorer Knits. This is then the Paisley Knits, Sand Dollar from Woolberry, Anne Shirley, and then puff sleeves. I've been so happy with how these colors are looking. Would I normally pair them together for something? No, but this is bringing me so much joy. So this has kind of become the pattern that I go back to in between finishing other projects, or if I need a break from a project. When did I start this? I started it on April 24th, and I imagine I'll be continuing to work on it throughout the year. I have no time frame in mind. I have no goal in mind. I just knit on it when I feel like it. And it makes me very happy. Okay, that's all of the finished objects and all of the works in progress so far for 2024. I do have one project hibernating. I had bought a kit at my local yarn store, Pearls of Wisdom in Phoenixville, because I wanted to participate in the Needles at the Ready kit along. And so I found this kit to make. Hold on, I need to find a picture that does not show the pattern too much, which I don't think is going to be possible. Okay, there we go. So I bought a kit to make this cute little elephant wearing overalls, and I was so excited. So I have so far completed the head. I have completed the body. I have done all 4 legs. 2 of them are stuffed. 2 of them are waiting to be seamed and stuffed. I have the other ear that has not been put on the head yet. And oh my God, look at these little overalls. How cute is that going to be? Here's the problem. I can seam together 2 edges. That was new for me. I had never done that before. I figured out how to do that. I cannot for the life of me figure out the best way to attach 2 stuffed pieces together. Like, I just don't know how to do it. So this got shoved back into the project bag. I was pretty frustrated and kind of sad that I couldn't figure it out. The directions just say things like sew the front legs onto the side of the body just below the head. Sew the hind legs onto the bottom of the body. Okay, I get that. Like, that makes sense. But how? So my friend Allie is going to help me. We were just catching up and talking too much last week for me to bring this out and ask for her help on it. But next time I see her, this elephant is getting put together. So, and then we need to come up with a name for it, because I think the pattern is called Freak Elephant. Not really feeling that, so we're going to give them a better name. Okay, now we're done. So, looking ahead to future plans, and I'm just like buzzing with excitement for what I'm thinking for the rest of the year. And I have my notes here, but I'm actually going to go out of order. First, I am doing 2 sample knits for Coley of Paisley Knits. I'm going to be doing the Hibernation House socks and the Amber socks. The yarn, I think, is being delivered today, and then I'm going to get that wound up and start working on these. And then I will probably take them and give them to her at Flock, so that she can then share them for upcoming collections. So I'm super excited because this is only the second time I've sample knit for a dyer. I really like Coley's yarn. I like her colors. I'm really excited to work with her on this. I've been wanting to knit the Hibernation House socks. I actually already had that pattern. And the Amber socks pattern is beautiful. So I'm excited to work on that. The colors she picked are great. I can't wait to see them in person. And she's super generous then with how she does her compensation. It's typical in that you get the same number of skeins that you're working with, but she lets you pick a color and any base, which is really exciting. So so I will update as I can on those. I'm going to have to share a lot of black and white photos until she releases these new collections, but super excited to start working on those. Then I thought I had decided what top or tops I wanted to try to make for the Summer Flockalong for me to wear in August when I'm out in Seattle at Flock. And then Allie came over on Friday, and that plan totally just went to hell. And with it, I realized a lot of anxiety that I had been like holding on to kind of like went with it. And what I mean by that is the patterns I was thinking about making, I didn't really realize how much they were intimidating me. Not because they're intimidating patterns, but because, again, I have never knit a garment. Like, these are going to be the first garments that I ever make, and I want to wear them at Flock in front of other people, knitters and dyers and people who like know their shit. So I was just putting this ridiculous amount of pressure on myself. I was trying to force like yarn and sweater quantities I already have into summer patterns, and that wasn't really working. So Allie came over. She was wearing 2 garments. She was wearing the Twofer Tank by Heidi Kiermaier and the Haiku Cardi by Svetlana Volkova. And as soon as I saw her in them, I had to know what they were. I had to feel it. And then I knew that those were the garments I needed to make. Here's why. First of all, the Haiku Cardi is knit at first like a shawl. You start with the small, I don't know if it's a garter tab cast on, but you start with a very small number of stitches and then it builds out like a shawl. And then I think you like fold it over to make your sleeves, and then you're picking up stitches along the bottom to finish the garment. On paper, it is not a size inclusive pattern. However, because of the gauge, because of the yarn that Allie used, because of the fact that I'm a loose knitter, and because Allie is going to be hopefully helping me, I can make it bigger than called for in the pattern. I can just keep knitting past where it says to stop a certain section to make it bigger and to make it fit my body. So I already ordered the yarn for that. I'm going to be using, what am I using for that? I think Plymouth Yarn Sea Isle, which is a 50-50 cotton merino base. I am ordering that through a local yarn store, and I will have it hopefully within the week. And then the Twofer Tank is knit top down, and Allie made hers with Sandnes Garn Lina, Line. It's their, oh, let me look it up real quick. It is, nope. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not prepared. S-A-N-D. You know, when you're trying to type or do something under pressure and your brain and your fingers just stop working. Okay. 14% linen, 33% rayon, and 53% cotton. Allie was wearing the tank top when she came over on Friday. I love the look at it. It is extremely size inclusive. It has a ton of sizes. It's called the Twofer tank, Twofer, because you can wear it two ways. You can wear it with a V-neck in the front, or you can wear it with more of a square shape. And it goes from an extra small at 30.5 inches up to a 6X at 68 inches. So I'm hoping that I can finish both of those before August. Those are going to become like my priority projects once I have the yarn in. And then after that, after flock, although here's my dilemma. Needles at the Ready is starting their Let's Hear It for the Boys knit along soon. And I have 10 skeins of Barocco Ultra Wool. What colorway is this? 33108. I feel like it has a name though. Like I feel like it's a number colorway, but it also has a name. Or I'm just wrong. 33108. Anyway, this is for Brent's, what he calls his old man cardi. And by that, I mean the Rough Edges Cardigan by Ann Hansen. That is the pattern that Brent has chosen for his first garment that I make for him. I was really hoping to knit it for the Needles at the Ready. Let's Hear It for the Boys. However, knowing that I want to make these other two garments for myself to wear in August, and knowing that Brent will not wear this cardigan until fall at the earliest, or even winter, depending on how warm it is, this project is going to have to be pushed back. But I still really want to do it for the knit along. Maybe I'll start it for the knit along, and it won't be I can participate in, you know, the chatter thread and be a part of the knit along. It just won't be a finished object by the end of it. We'll see. We'll see. All right, Twofer tank, haiku cardi, rough edges, sample knits. Okay, and one other thing, but this won't start until the end of the year, but I'm so excited I want to show it. If you are participating in Little Fiber Co.'s mystery club this year, her mystery cookware club, I'm going to show the first 5 colorways. So January, February, March, April, May. It's June 17th, so I'm pretty sure everyone has gotten their 5th colorway for May. But just in case, you have been warned. I don't know if I remember what order these go in, so I'm just gonna hold them up. Lauren of Little Fiber Co. is doing a tonal mystery club, which I swore I wasn't going to do another mystery club, and then she released the inspiration and the photos, and it's a solid color mystery club, and I caved. So I am getting her Merino DK base, 1 skein each month, and the plan is, this is agave, this is chiffon, hold on, sorry, crinkle. Oh no, I dropped the yarn. Hold on. Oh my gosh, where'd it go? Okay, we're almost done. We're almost done, I promise. Okay, this is agave. This is chiffon, this light pink. This is thyme. This is ultraviolet, this purple. And then the most recent colorway is, I don't know how to say this word, cerise, C-E-R-I-S-E. So let's see if I can do this. Dun, da, da, da. Ta-da! So that's the first 5 months. This is going to go on throughout the year, and my plan is I'm going to pick a main color that's either like a light gray or a beigey, cream, OD color, and I'm going to make a painting bricks pattern by blanket by Stephen West with all of these colors for the stripes, the bricks, or no, not painting bricks, painting honeycombs. I think it's the honeycombs. So I won't be able to start it until the end of the year because you do single honeycomb stripes of each colorway. So I will need to have the colors ready to go so I can continue, you know, and then you repeat the colors. But I'm really excited for how this is going to turn out because so far I am loving these colors. So Lauren, thank you. You are just knocking it out of the park. Let me check my notes one more time. Okay, we are officially done. And hold on. I made it all the way to the end without coughing. That's amazing. All right, this is officially the longest episode I've recorded so far. Hopefully it was enjoyable. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. If you don't subscribe, but you're enjoying these videos, I know I've only done 3, but if you are enjoying them and you would like to subscribe, that would be awesome. It's very encouraging, and I think it helps the videos be seen by other people. And also, if you could leave a comment and let me know what you enjoyed, or if you have any questions, or where you're watching from, or how you found the podcast, that would be fantastic as well. I am on Instagram as Little Dynamite with an underscore in between Little and Dynamite. That is also below, along with all the patterns I mentioned, the yarns and dyers I talked about, the patterns I'm going to be doing for future projects. It's all going to be down in the description. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.